What is going on, guys and girls? How doing today? Single Roleplay here once again, and finally guys, today I want to present you my build of the Heist League, and this is the Carrion Golem Necromancer build. I really wanted to play a Carrion Golems for a long time. It's one of the few minions that I haven't really played that much, and surprisingly a lot of people decided to play the same shit in the Heist League, and this is like one of the most popular skills abused in the league. Simply because the Heist League really is more of the sneaky, kind of dangerous league where there's a lot of doors and you really don't want to go inside these doors, so you prefer that something goes inside there and kills shit, which is golems. You can also run through the maps and just kind of the IFK most content with this type of damage. So definitely I can understand why golems were so incredibly popular in this league. Another thing that you need to understand is the difference between the elementalist type of golem build and the necromancer type of golem build. So for elementals you'll be playing a lot of golems and a lot of different types of golems, but it's a little bit counterproductive for the Carrion Golem build, because Carrion Golem gets increased more damage multiplier based on the amount of non-golem minions around, and you will still have to run non-golem minions with the Carrion Golem build, being it zombies, specters, spiders, whatever. So yeah, you run different types of golems. A lot of them you need a lot of jewels over there. The benefits of running the elementalist is definitely a lot of different buffs that golems give you, like the ailment immunities. You can be freeze, shocked, or anything like that. That's very nice. For the necromancer it's a little different. It's less golems, much less golems actually, because you don't want to be running chaos golems or whatever golems is there, like flames, stones. You'll be just concentrating on the carrions 100%. So it's way more damage per golem, but it's way less golems. It's also a little different defensive style. You have to run a lot more auras, I think, in general. And defense is a little tricky because you need to get more like armor, more block. In some cases, you also not ailment immune, but you get the very cool thing, which is the bone barrier, which gives you physical damage reduction, as well as 2000 more kind of EHP on top of your life pool. So it makes you still pretty damn tanky. So to summarize, it's a different type of builds. Have a lot of in common, but it's just a different ways how you build them, but overall pretty much the same in the end. One more thing that I wanted to mention is how can I contribute with my build, guys, to the massive amount of Carrion Golem builds out there already. There are very solid builds out there, a lot of damage, a lot of tankiness, but you know, the problem with this build is it is extremely expensive. When you start playing it, you just quickly realize like that the golem jewels cost like tremendous amount of currency, especially at the start of the league. It's really impossible to play. So my goal was not to replicate any other build out there. I'm not interested in copying any shit. What I'm interested is introducing something new and how you can play it and how you can level up with this. And so I introduce you guys to probably the most budget version of the Carrion Golem build out there, because that was my league starter. I played a very cheap version of this Carrion Golem build, and it was a huge success. Very low investment, like 5-10 times cheaper than most Carrion Golem builds out there, and the damage is in the 10 millions. Took down all content, no problem at all, guys. Check this out. Before we go further into the video, I would like to stop for a second and thank my Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers. You guys are making a huge impact on my life and allow me to get going and continue creating content for all of you. Thank you so much. If you want to make it into the list and immortalize yourself on the internet, join Patreon to get sneak peeks and behind the scenes footage of my work. I'm always looking for feedback on my content, guys, in order to improve, so making sure you always leave comment, like or dislike. Your reaction is very important. And remember,
you, yes you, are making a difference.
Here we go, guys, and this is my pathway building for the exact character that I'm running right now. This is 95 level character, and that's one of the pros of the build, because you don't need like level 100 or anything to cap out on the possibilities to run the build, let's say, because some builds need like level 100, 97, 98. This is really annoying. I'm not 95, I'm already done. Like, it's very realistic. I mean, any casual can get to 95 sooner or later, so easy to get. So we play as the Necromancer. First thing, you start over here and take the energy shield nodes over here, because you will be running the Chevron in the end. This is the energy shield based character, but it's not CI. You are running the hybrid, and you are not running low life. You will be reserving life, but you still run ES life hybrid. This is also a very cool trick. So first thing, you take all the energy shield nodes over here and progress to the left side. Just grab the Ravenous Horde and start progressing to the left side. In my opinion, the first investment should be definitely the Golem Commander, and then you take the Death Entombment and progress to the far left and take the Juicy Riders Army and Redemption, as well as the Faith and Steel, which give you resistance and armor as well. I would concentrate on these things up to level 1 to level 70, 80. Then you can start investing a little more on the right side and take the Influence for the effect of your non-curse auras, like Pride or something like that. There's also some decent investment in the non-curse aura effectiveness in this build, but it's not crazy. After that, I will go down and take the Leadership for more aura investment, and you can also get the Juicy Foresight as well. Up to about level 80, you will start grabbing this jewel, which is the large cluster jewel, which you need to buy. This would be your first big, let's say, investment. You just only need one jewel at first. Level 80, 85, this is what would be like getting your first 100C probably from mapping, maybe some lucky sales. This will be buying this. You need to buy the 9 or 8 passive skill or large cluster jewel with these two passives, Renewal and Rodent Claws. Renewal gives minions 10% chance to deal double damage while on full life, and since they will be probably be leeching more than get hit, they will be always on full life no matter what you do. And the Rodent Claws and Impale on hit with attacks for the minions, which is absolutely massive amount of DPS increase, since Carrion Golems are physical type of golems. So one jewel like that, and then you put more jewels over there, which is Primordial Eminence and some medium cluster if you can find it. If you can't find the medium cluster jewel with these two passive, let's say First Among the Equals and Replenishing Presence, you can also get one more Eminence there and just put in one more Eminence, because Eminence is the cheapest primordial jewel which you will need for the very end game in order to get the extra golem from the Animus Stone. So get one large cluster jewel, put the Eminence or just the normal jewels, like let's say jewels like that with some minion damage, minion attack speed, doesn't really matter. I would recommend definitely staking either just the Eminences or some normal ghastly eyes with some useful stats like energy shield and minion damage on them. After about level 90, 95, you will be already using the second large cluster jewel, which is the same cluster jewel, the same mods on it, Renewal and Rodent Claws, with whatever passives you, whatever minor passive skills you can take. And this just yet another Primordial Eminence and the just the normal Ghastly Eye jewel, nothing spectacular here at all. For the leveling trees, you can check them out on the left bottom of the POB. There's always leveling trees out there. Let's take a look at the skills, guys. There's quite a lot of things to talk about. The first is the 6 link. Another pro of my build, as it delivers over 15 million damage on the golems. You see the 6 golems were delivering almost 3 million DPS per golem, and there's about like 15 to 16, 17 million DPS there. And I don't use any awakening gems, so this is very cheap. I mean, this is just your basic gems you get through the acts, and there's no necessary to buy any expensive gems at all. And that was my goal of the build, to make it extremely cheap to run for any player out there. That's how I decided I'm gonna make this build and contribute to the amount of Carrion Golem builds out there. Carrion Golem damage on full life, melee fizz, multi-strike, brutality, and minion damage. There's also one more good support out there, which is the Impale, but getting all of the red jewels and one green jewel on the Chevron, which is the energy shield based chest, is very hard. You will need it to be a white socketed, and it's basically very hard to get and very expensive to get it. So Impale is okay damage, it does a lot of damage definitely, but I would recommend going with damage on full life because it stacks with the cluster jewel mods, as well as stacks with the things like the Grave Pact, which is double damage as well. I think the double damage stockpiles very fast, and this is one of the biggest multipliers you can get. So damage on full life, I think it kind of beats a little bit of the Impale. Overall, Impale is still amazing. Another free link is the Auras with Generosity. It's a Dread banner, which gives more Impale to your minions, which is mandatory to run on the Generosity. And this is my Frost Blink, which I'll use as the move speed. One link, Skitter Boss with Vulnerability, is in the ring, which is Profane Proxy. I'll talk about the gear later on as well, guys. This is a really OP ring, because if you place the curse on the left slot, they apply the Skitter Boss apply the socketed curse instead of cheating aura, and we don't really give a shit about cheating. Shocking is mandatory to leave on the right socket, but left we don't care. Cheating is not important. We better apply the vulnerability, so we don't need to cast them yourself. So put the vulnerability on the socket and the Profane Proxy. Free link, like I said, Red banner of this. 4 link, guys. This is where the trick begins. This is where you can get the chevrons. At about level like 90, you get chef. You'll have enough currency to buy the cards and buy the chef. So this is where you'll be transitioning a little more into kind of a low life without the low life. It's still a hybrid build. You will not be protecting your life in any way because you don't care. This is where you'll be putting your low life reservation Pride with blood magic and precision. This is what I put over here, and also have the Race Spectre there linked with blood magic, so that the Carnage Hosts and Chieftains and Tools of Taze and Undying Evangelist could cast more of their cooldown based abilities and mana based abilities. I can recommend linking like that. The another 4 link is my different utilities, like Phase Run, which allows you to move through the monsters without the phasing flask. I use Phase Run in most of my minion builds, and I think it's pretty mandatory. Flash Offering for more attack speed for your minions. This is very huge DPS boost. Convocation to relocate and regenerate your minions. This is mandatory, in my opinion, to run in any minion build, especially builds which don't really invest a lot in the minion life. And Vitality. Vitality has been changed. It's flat reservation now. It's good for you and your minions as well. Absolutely mandatory to have. This is our zombies with Frenzy. It's in the boots. In the boots I run 2 link and 2 link. I run Flesh and Stone Aura with Maim, and I run on a separate 2 link with the raised zombies with Feeding Frenzy. Actually, zombies deliver about 500,000 DPS in a 1 link, which is pretty insane, and then make them very aggressive, so they constantly run into shit and slam the fuck out of everything. So the reason why we run zombies is because Carrion Golems needs a boost. As you can see, these golems deal 5% more damage per non-golem minion near them, up to 50%. And zombies actually, let's say, define this amount of minions around. So let's say you have a bunch of specters and 8 zombies, and already have the full damage for your Carrion Golems around. This is very good to have. So that's pretty much zombies are there for the Carrion Golem damage and the Feeding Frenzy buff, guys. That's about it. And another thing that I have left is Desecrate. It's in my unset ring over there, just for the sake of Desecration and Flesh Offering for bosses, because you don't want to lose Flesh Offering buff for the boss encounters. In order to get the corpses, the specters, you need Desecrate. Definitely the run that is in the unset ring. I think I didn't forget anything. Oh, I forgot this. This is the weapon, guys, and this is the Skitter Bots. Val Discipline, which I run the normal discipline. And Val Discipline, when you pop this, it's like a emergency life flask for the energy shield, and Enlighten to really lower down the reservation. The coolest thing about my build is it doesn't need Enlighten 4, which saves you tremendous amount of currency actually, because you don't need Enlighten 4. The only reason is Enlighten 3 is there is because there's enough mana to cast Flesh Offering. Flesh Offering is a little expensive, and in order to resummon golems, and let's say your zombies died, zombies not a problem, you can resummon them with this low amount of, like, you have 50 mana left. But Carrion Golems need like 250, you just unspec Skitter Bots, summon the golems, and spec turn on Skitter Bots again, that's it. But a Flesh Offering you need a little more. That's why you need to balance your reservation so that you will just have enough mana to cast Flesh Offering, because it's the only thing. Like Convocation, Phase Run, all of this like costs nothing. The only thing you need to worry about is Flesh Offering, guys. If you have enough mana to cast Flesh Offering, that's all that matters. In order to achieve this, I have a lot of reservation there on the cheap Primordial Eminence Jewels, as well as I got one extra reservation on the Ghastly Eye Jewel over here, which makes it so I can have like 50 mana left, just enough to cast Flesh Offering. I think that's all about the skills. One thing to talk about is also the Ascendancy, and the reason why Necromancer deals so much more damage than the Elementalist is Unnatural Strength, +2 to level on minion skill gems, and this applies to everything. Spectres, golems, zombies, anything. And the reason why it's so OP, not only it increases the damage a lot, because every level on the minions deal like a lot, they deal a lot more damage, and also increases their HP and allows them to basically survive better. We have bigger life pool, they regenerate more HP, they leech more, so basically they just become tankier and stronger, and that's why Necromancer is definitely like the #1 DPS for the golems. For the Ascendancy, I would recommend going to the Mindless Aggression first and Natural Strength second. The third is Commander of Darkness, which is kind of the aura staking buff. And the fourth is the Bone Bearer, which is more like defense for you as well. That's about it for Ascendancy. Let's talk about the actual item, guys. And the weapons are 2 Clay Shapers, 1 Chaos each. The only stat to look for here is the minions has a 30% increase max life. The rest you don't really care. Basically 2 of these, you get a level 41, and that's it. That's your endgame weapons. The helmet is Hubris Circlet, and a couple of things to say here is this is where you'll be placing your Spectres, and in order to get level 25 Spectre Gem, which allows you to summon 4 Spectres, you need to have 2 different options. First, you can buy level 21 Spectre Gem and place it in a +2 helmet, which will result in a 25 level with your Ascendancy. And the next option is to place level 20 gem in a +3 helmet, which results in the same level 25 gem in the end, which will allow you to summon 4 Spectres. So up to you to decide. +3 is definitely quite expensive, but it's not rare or anything. That's what is about like 150 chaos, I believe. Not insane, I would say. Easily doable, especially considering that I bought it when I was like 93, I guess. Before that, I just ran the absolutely, normal Hubris with 300 ES, which I bought for like 60, 70 chaos, I believe. And no levels of minions there, and was absolutely fine. So 3 to 4 Spectres, guys, is no difference at all, just min maxing. The body armor is Chevron's Wrappings. The reason why we run that is chaos damage does not bypass energy shield. This way we can reserve all of the life we have for the extra aura and do not worry about dying from chaos, because chaos damage goes to life directly, and in this case with Chef it goes to the energy shield, and we are protected basically from dying instantly. This is the only thing which allows you to protect from the chaos like this, and this is why everyone uses that. At the same time, I did not use Prism Guardian Shield. As you can see, I run 2 Clay Shapers, so I'm not reserving like resistances with the auras. I run like pure damage, and I get resistances on the rest of my gear. So you'll be maybe questioning like, why you get chevrons here. It's an expensive chest. Actually, it's not expensive chest, guys, because you can buy it from the cards. I bought it for 35C because I bought the offering cards, which were like 5-6 KOs each on the first week of the league, and it was 35C for me to get this chef. And then I threw all the jewels that I saved during the leveling and the mapping. Then I threw all the fusings there, and it just linked like this. So I do not consider this a very huge investment or whatever. It's absolutely doable solo. It's absolutely doable for anyone to get this kind of item. And to be honest, I only got chevron like when I was like 90 already. Before that, I ran the ambush charge for literally 90 levels. And no problems at all. Ambush charge is absolutely amazing. I bought it for 6 chaos just when I started mapping, and no issues at all, guys. Not a problem. Shav is only there for the very end game when you need this, like all the damage of the world. This is where you start optimizing. The gloves are actually just pure ES gloves, nothing spectacular, just intelligence, ES, resistance, and chaos rest. Boots, once again, nothing spectacular. Sorcerer boots, chaos movement speed, ES as much as you can. The amulet is Ascendancy. You don't need anything else. Ascendancy gives you a shit ton of ES, as well as solves different problems with dexterity and strength, so you don't need to worry about the strength and dexterity whatsoever. It fills all the stats you need. You'll also be anointing Grave Pack. Grave Pack, which is very cheap. You don't need to anoint any stupid reservation. You don't need to go to the charisma. Forget about that. You don't give a shit. You just get Grave Pack damage, guys. That's about it. The ring is profane proxy, like I said. It's really OP in my opinion. It gives you +3 to curses, which is vulnerability, and some resistance, as well as the skitter bots just apply vulnerability whenever they go. The second ring is the Unset with just the ES, Chaos Res, and I also crafted some faster stars of energy shield recharge over there. The belt is Darkness of Throne, which makes it so 75% increase effective socket jewels, and you need to socket some taunt on attacks and blind on attacks for minions here, which is increases by 75, and they will have like a solid 10% chance to blind and taunt and hit, which is absolutely fantastic. The flasks are just pure defense, Taste of Hate, Basalt, Quicksilver for speed, Granite for armor, and Kiara's Determination is my personal kind of a choice, because, you know, just a shitty flask, but I like it. Gives you Onslaught, which is movement speed, as well as immune to freeze, chill, curse, and stuns. Duration is shit, but I mean, it just works. It does the job. You can also use the phasing flask here as well on top of your phase run, guys, if you wish. Also good option. Like I said, the cluster jewels are just 2 large and 1 medium. You can use more mediums if you wish, but I decided to make the build cheaper and use Primordial Eminence there instead. The jewels for the Primordial and for the Animal Stone are like that. We got 2 Primordial Eminence and 1 Primordial Might. Primordial Might can be rather expensive and Animal Stone even more expensive, but keep in mind, guys, this is your very super end game investment. You don't need this for like from level 1 to level 90. You just forget about this. All you need to gather money for is the large cluster jewel, one of this and then the other one. The Might and the Animal Stone are the super end game things. You need to only like start worrying about them when you get like over 90. This is where you will get enough currency for this kind of things. And this is where it's basically the super endgame investment. Animal Stone is the absolute last thing that I bought for the build. And that's about it. This is basically what I get, like extra 2 golems. And this is where the build started face rolling all the endgame content, like Sirus 7, Conqueror, Sirus 8, Shaper, Decimated, you know, all this stuff. For the normal jewels, guys, I would recommend going Energy Shield, Taunt on Hit, I also recommend getting at least 1 or 2 jewels with minion leech damage as life. This is very, very mandatory to keep the golems alive as much as possible, because there is some leech on the tree, but it's very minimal. So I can definitely recommend getting jewels like this, at least 1 or 2. This will just keep them alive way, way more. And the rest is mostly just resistance and chaos resistance and armor if you can get it. So that's pretty much all about the gear, guys. This is it for the build guide, guys, and I really hope you liked it, because I really enjoyed playing this build. It's not the most, groundbreaking build out there, because, I specifically, for a reason, decided to keep it cheap, but, I mean, 15 million DPS for the minion build is no joke at all. Kills everything very fast, moderate tankiness, good speed, very good for farming all kind of content. And at the same time, it's pretty cheap, guys. I mean, I doubt you will find anything cheaper Carrion Golem build than that. I tried it to be as affordable as possible for all the players out there, not only the ones who know, how to get currency early on, just for every one of you guys to play this type of build. To if you want to invest more, guys. Become better, become stronger. But my goal, guys, is how I make my builds is I want the majority of casual players get to the end game. That's my goal, because casual players that don't have a lot of time to play, and they might never get to the end game because they will just not get enough currency, not get enough damage to invest into the build. So my goal is to help you guys get to the end game and face the hardest content and have fun. That's what I try to do with my builds, and a lot of people succeed and thank me for that, and I'm very thankful to you that you guys give me feedback and you have fun with my builds. So once again, I really hope you guys appreciate what I do. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.